Hi everybody, my name is Brenda and I work in the Communications and Customer Services section of SUSI. This video presentation is to give you an overview of our eligibility criteria and the grant application process. So who exactly are SUSI and what do we do? SUSI is Ireland's single awarding authority for student funding in further and higher education. And there are two different types of funding that we provide, a student contribution or fee grant and a maintenance grant. So why should you even apply to SUSI? If you do apply and are deemed eligible for a grant, you may receive assistance towards the student contribution charge of €3,000, which we will pay directly to the college on your behalf, and you may also be eligible for a maintenance grant, which is assistance towards your day-to-day living expenses and is paid directly into the student's nominated bank account. The types of courses that SUSI fund range from further education level 5 courses all the way up to level 10 postgraduate courses, and there are different types of funding available at each level. For further education or PLC courses, the funding available is a maintenance grant only. For higher education undergraduate courses, the funding available is both a maintenance grant and a fee or student contribution grant. For students studying at undergraduate level outside the state but within the EU or the UK, a maintenance grant only is available. And we also provide funding for postgraduate courses within Ireland. And there are two different types of postgrad awards: the ordinary rate, which is a contribution of €2,000 towards the fees, and special rate, which is fees paid up to €6,270 and a maintenance grant. I'll explain more about the special rate later on in the presentation. So just to recap on the types of funding available at each level, for PLC courses at levels 5 and 6 undertaken at approved PLC centres within the state, we don't pay the fee element of these courses, but maintenance grants are available. For undergrad courses at levels 6, 7 or 8 undertaken at approved institutions in the state, both a fee grant and a maintenance grant are available. Undergrad courses at levels 6, 7 or 8 undertaken at approved institutions in another EU member state or the UK, a fee grant isn't available, but a maintenance grant is. For postgrad courses at levels 8, 9 or 10 undertaken at approved institutions in the state and 4 approved institutions in Northern Ireland, which are the University of Ulster, Queen's University, St Mary's College of Education and Stranmillis College, both a fee grant and a maintenance grant is available, but as I said previously, the maintenance grant is only available for those who qualify for the special rate grant. Further details on the eligible courses in Northern Ireland is available on our website at susi.ie. In order to be eligible for any funding from SUSI, an applicant must meet all of our 5 key eligibility criteria, which are as follows: nationality, residency, progression, an approved course in an approved college, and the reckonable income for 2019 must be under the maximum threshold. And I'll explain a bit more on each of the criteria. So the first one we look at is nationality. In order to be eligible for funding, an applicant must be either an Irish, EU, EEA, UK or Swiss national, or have specific leave to remain in the state as granted by the Department of Justice and Equality. Further information on the eligible permissions to remain can be found in the nationality section of our website. The next one we're going to look at is residency. This determines what type of funding a student is eligible for. Applicants must have been ordinarily resident in Ireland, the EU, the EEA, the UK or Switzerland for 3 of the last 5 years. If an applicant has been resident in Ireland for 3 of the last 5 years, they're known as a student and they may be eligible for both a fee grant and a maintenance grant. If an applicant has been resident outside of Ireland but within the EU, EEA, UK or Switzerland for 3 of the last 5 years, they're known as a tuition student and they would only be eligible for a fee grant. They're not eligible for a maintenance grant. The next one we're going to look at is progression. In order to be eligible for funding, applicants must be progressing in their education, and by that we mean increasing their National Framework of Qualifications or NFQ level. If you have a qualification, we can only fund you for a course at a higher level, irrespective of where and when you received it or whether you had previous grant funding. Approved colleges and approved courses. In order to be eligible, applicants must be attending an approved full-time course in an approved institution. And there's further details on all of our approved colleges on our website. So the next eligibility criteria that we're going to look at is reckonable income. In order to be eligible for funding, an applicant's reckonable income must fall under specific thresholds. And further information on all the income thresholds and award rates are available in the income section of the SUSI website. This reckonable income will be a factor in determining what type of funding an applicant may receive. And applications are assessed with regard to gross household income from the previous year. So for the 2021 academic year, we'll look at household income from the 1st of January to the 31st December 2019. However, if the income for 2020 has been reduced, we can reassess on the current income. If this applies to you, just be sure to advise us of this on the application. Now I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about the maximum thresholds for funding. So where the household income for 2019 is, under €54,240 for a family with less than 4 dependent children, under €59,595 for a family with 4 to 7 dependent children, and under €64,700 for a family with 8 or more dependent children, you may be eligible for some element of grant funding from SUSI. And as I said previously, there's more information on all of our grant thresholds and award rates in the income section of the SUSI website. When applying to SUSI for grant funding, it's important that an applicant chooses the correct class of applicant to be assessed as. There are 2 different categories of applicant class: dependent, including mature dependent, and independent. And why is this relevant or important? Because an applicant's class determines whose income is taken into consideration when assessing the application. So we'll just go into a little bit more detail about the different types of classes. A dependent student is somebody who is under 23 on the 1st of January of their year of first entry to further higher education, and they be assessed with reference to their own income and that of their parents or legal guardians. A mature dependent is somebody who is 23 or over on the 1st of January of their year of entry or re-entry to an approved course, but living with their parents or guardians in the October prior to this. And they will also be assessed with reference to their own income and that of their parents or legal guardians. To be assessed as an independent student, an applicant must be 23 or over on the 1st of January of their year of entry or re-entry to an approved course and living independently from their parents from the October prior to this. They be assessed with reference to their own income and that of their spouse or cohabitant. An important thing to note about class of applicant is that an applicant's class is defined at his or her first point of entry to an approved PLC or higher education course, or at his or her point of re-entry to such an approved course after a 3-year break, and will continue to apply for the duration of his or her studies. When an applicant is awarded a maintenance grant, the actual amount awarded depends on which income threshold they fall under and whether the distance from their home to their college is under or over 45 kilometres. If the distance is calculated as under 45 kilometres, they are awarded the adjacent rate of grant, and if the distance is over 45 kilometres, they are awarded the non-adjacent rate of grant. If you want to see the route calculated, you can always log into your SUSI account and check on the distance. I mentioned the special rated grant earlier on in the presentation, and now I'm going to give you a bit more details on exactly what this is and the qualifying criteria. So essentially the special rate is a top-up on the ordinary rate of maintenance grant, and to be eligible for special rate you must meet the following criteria. So the household income for 2019 must be less than €24,500 and include on the 31st December 2019 income from an eligible long-term Department of Employment Affairs and Social Protection payment. A full list of all of the eligible payments is available on the SUSI website. So the rates of special rate are as follows. For applicants whose distance from their home to their college is under 45 kilometres, the total amount is €2,375 and is payable in 9 monthly instalments of €263.89 per month. And for applicants whose distance is 45 kilometres or over, the total is €5,915, payable in 9 monthly instalments of €657.22 per month. So what to do? These are the things that we advise everybody to do. Step 1. Check out the Eligibility Reckoner. This is an online tool on the SUSI website that asks questions in relation to all the key eligibility criteria, and it gives you an indication as to whether you're going to be eligible for funding or not. Step 2. Register your account. You'll get a username, a password and a PIN. Make sure you keep these login details safely because you'll need them to access your account. Step 3. Complete your application. You don't have to do this all in one sitting. If you want to pause and come back to it at any stage, that's fine. And step 4. Submit your application online. Once you submit your application, you should receive a confirmation email from SUSI within 24 hours. If you don't receive this confirmation email, just contact the support desk and they'll be more than happy to help you. When you're making an application, you're going to need the following details. The PPSN for the applicant, the PPSN for parties to the application. So for dependent students, that will be the parents or legal guardians, and for independent students it will be their spouse or cohabitants, your CAO or UCAS registration number, 2019 income details, just an estimate of the amounts, the course details, you don't have to have accepted a place on a course to make a SUSI application, the AIR code, this will assist us in calculating the distance from your home to the college. And once you have all of those, click on Start Application and you can start to make the application then. So once you've submitted your application, what happens to it next? First thing is, it goes for provisional assessment where it's looked at by one of the assessment team. You'll then get a letter in the post advising of the outcome of this assessment. You'll either be awarded. If you are awarded a grant, the award letter will advise you of the rate you've been awarded and the course that we've awarded you to. Your application may be refused if you don't meet one or more of our eligibility criteria. The refusal letter will always advise you of the reason for your refusal and of your right to appeal this decision. Or you may also be issued a checklist letter requesting supporting documents. If you do receive a checklist letter requesting documents, be sure to return them within the timeframe stipulated on the checklist letter. If there's going to be a delay in submitting them, just engage with us. A quick email or a call to support desk is all it takes. If you did receive a letter requesting some supporting documents and you have submitted them, what happens next is that your application goes for review assessment. And what happens here is that the documents will be reviewed by the assessment team and you'll either be awarded, refused, or if the documents have been deemed insufficient, issued an additional letter requesting additional supporting documents. So here's some important tips for you. First things first, check the eligibility reckoner on the SUSI website. This will give you an indication as to your potential eligibility. When completing your CAO form, tick the Share Details with SUSI button. If you've done this and given us your CAO number, if you accept a course through the CAO that's a different one than the one on your original application, you don't need to let us know you've changed your course. The CAO will let us know directly, and we'll send out a new award letter with the amended course details. Include relevant persons on your application. If you have a sibling or a parent who will also be attending a course in the 2021 academic year, this may improve the rate of grant awarded to you, so make sure you advise us about these in section E2 of the application form. You can track your application's progress at any time through your online account. If you received a letter requesting support and documentation from us, please ensure you send these in to us on time and complete. If anybody in the household has an income that's from self-assessment, so self-employment or self-assessment, if possible, file your tax returns early in 2020, as we will not be able to finalise the application until we see that you have done this. So just to finish up, here's some information on how you can keep in touch with us here at SUSI. Our website, susi.ie, has a wealth of information on all elements of eligibility criteria. There are also some very good information videos and downloadable versions of our information booklets there. You can contact us at any time through the following channels: through email at support@susi.ie, through social media via Facebook and Twitter, and at our telephone help desk. The number is 076 1087 874. I hope you found this video useful and I wish you all the best in your studies for the forthcoming academic year. Thanks for listening.